Hope it's recording. Yes, it is. Okay. So, um, let's start with the fourth session of the Imbalance series. And okay,
So
yes,
it's showing on your screen what stream.
uh, wait a minute. What
It's
does it
fine.
say on the screen?
It's okay now.
Okay, nice. So the position is already in front of us, but uh, we'll first understand what's happening, okay? Yes, it
Okay.
is the starting position because we are looking at the imbalance called lead in development. Now, just a small recap from the previous classes. We have looked at many imbalances featuring superior minor piece, pawn structure, space, material, control of a key file, control of a whole, or we can call it a weak square. Okay. Now, according to the list that Silman gave in his book, four more imbalances are left, and then we'll look at some games that he has mentioned in the book, which will apply these imbalances, and we'll know better how to how to utilize the imbalances in a real game. And then we'll finally finish off with the first part. In today's session, I'll finish off the imbalance part. Okay, the uh, the overview part of the imbalances. Then in the next session, we'll be looking at some games mentioned in the book, and yeah, then we'll be starting the second part in which Silman dives deep into the imbalances of superior minor piece. First he'll cover the knight, and then he'll cover the bishop. Okay. Now coming back to our own our today's agenda. First, we'll look at lead in development. Now, what is lead in development? Can anyone answer me? Either in the chat or you can just unmute yourself.
Sir, I don't know.
Okay, no problem. Let's see if anyone has answered yet in the chat. Okay, no one, right? No problem. So, lead in development is nothing but when one side can develop his or her pieces faster than his opponent. Lead in development is really very dangerous because when someone does have a lead in development, he can just open up the position and attack the opponent's king, leading to quick wins. So, how to play positions in which you are outnumbered? By outnumbered, I means that you are facing issues in development and your opponent is doing really good. He has a great lead in development. So you need to keep things closed until you develop your own pieces, and your king goes to safety by obviously by castling. While the side that has more pieces developed will try to open up the position and attack your king. By castling and by developing your own pieces, you get a fight with equal armies. That is much easier to play. Many opening gambits, I think all the opening gambits are basically based on this imbalance only. material versus development. The players who play these gambits and all can easily get quick wins if you just foolishly open up the position and give your own king voluntarily to the opponent's army. Now we'll just look at an example. E4 C5 Sicilian defense, a really famous opening and a really famous gambit, Smith Mora. Yeah. So CD4 C3 DC3 knight C3. Okay, now white has lost one pawn, but he has developed one piece. Okay, but and his all his pieces are ready for development. Right? Everything, the two bishops, the knight, and the king will eventually castle really fast. Black goes knight c6, knight f3, d6, and bishop c4. Now let's just count the number of pieces that are developed from both the sides. Black has one piece developed, that is the knight, and white has three pieces developed. So obviously black is black is facing issues in developing the pieces. So what he should do, he should keep the things closed. Here in this position, you can play the move a6 or e6, anything. Those two moves are fine, but if you go knight f6, it's bad. It's really bad because you now give white what he wants, a pawn break to open up the position because he has the lead in development. If you take with the d pawn, you are just foolishly opening up lines. But if you take with the knight, knight captures e5. Yes, white has sacrificed a pawn. If you take with the knight, it's even worse because just knight takes, pawn takes, and bishop capture f7 wins the queen. The king has to move, and white can easily take the queen. So
So
yes,
if the pawn captures, if the pawn captures the pawn, then the white can take the queen.
no, not in this position because okay, you are mentioning bishop capture f7 here, but there is a problem that the knight defends. So white won't really be able to take the queen for free. But if you capture with the knight has moved. It no longer defends the queen. So this tactic works.
Okay.
Okay, let's look at the moves. What happened in the game? Black played d captures e5, just foolishly opening up lines against his own king, and white played queen capture d8 check, knight capture d8. Your king capture d8 is a better try. Okay, knight capture d8 was played. Knight b5, threatening a fork. King d7. Black already looks not so good. His bishop is blocked and all. You know, it's not good for black. In fact, it's completely lost. It's a mate in two. Simply, can you spot it? Uh, okay. The answer is
Pawn captures e5,
correct.
king
King e8.
e8, and then bishop captures f7.
No, that's not the mate. That's not the mate. It's knight f7. It's knight c7 checkmate.
But why is the bishop f7 not made?
Because the king just captures or the knight. So
No, the king
obviously,
cannot capture. The
what I
king
was
cannot.
what I meant to say is if bishop capture f7, knight captures f7, knight f7 and king f7. So the king captures at the last. Obviously, there is a knight defending the f7 square, while knight c7 is just a mate. So okay, moving forward. Now we are looking at initiative. Okay, we are looking at what's called initiative. Silman, in his book, says that I consider initiative to be a physical manifestation of a psychological battle. Why does he say that? Because both sides are just pushing their own plans in the hope that their opponent will have to forego of his own plans and react to their opponents. I mean, both sides both sides are just pushing their own ideas so that they get something in the position and their opponent needs to react to it. Okay.
Yes.
Here in this position, white has just played knight h4. Looking at g6 and f5, obviously the immediate threat is knight g6, forking the queen and the rook. And the other knight, which is sitting on c4, intends to go on d5 via e3. Okay, so if white gets the chance to move his bishop, to move his e3 bishop, he will move it or might just take the bishop and plays knight to e3 and then d5. Yeah. Okay. So let's say black goes king h7, defending knight g6, the immediate threat, obviously. But king h7 is a very passive move. We need to know that what black has in this position. Black, uh, okay, black has the c4 knight. It is loose, okay? It is loose. It is just defended by the queen, and we all know that queen is not a good defender. So black is looking at this knight, and if the knight moves, then the a2 pawn falls. So this is what black has. If black goes king h7, it is a very defensive move. White gets to push his own agenda with knight f sorry, with bishop captures c5, queen captures c5. Now a question might arise: why can't you capture with the knight? Because it is a mistake. White gets knight e3, threatening knight d5, which cannot be stopped. Therefore, black captures with the queen. White still gets knight e3, but now there is a move, knight b6. Now knight e3, why can't black capture on a2? That's my question. Why can't black capture on a2?
Because if it captures the knight, h4 can jump to f5 and
Okay,
then
yes, that can be a reason. That can be a reason, but there is a better move available. White goes bishop h3. What does he get with bishop h3 is a great diagonal. The knight will definitely go to f5, and the e3 knight will go to d5 at some point, and um, black is just really really passive. Hence king h7 is not really good here. Okay, so we were looking at knight e3, right? Knight e3, knight b6, stopping knight d5. But white still goes knight d5. Now there are two ways to capture. One is with the bishop, one is with the knight, one is right and one is wrong. The right is to capture with the bishop. Why not?
Why?
Because if you capture with the knight, e capture d5, bishop capture d5, a stunning rook sacrifice, rook capture d5, rook captures, and at the end we get queen e4 check. It's the king and the rook. But what is right about bishop d5 then? Because anyways at the end we are getting the same position, right? Sorry, rook d5 and queen e4 check. Yeah, we are getting the
Because
same position.
because
Yes.
uh, a knight is a little better than a bishop.
No, at the end we are getting queen e4 check. We are double attacking the rook and the king. So what's the problem with knight d5?
But in both of them, we are having that.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the issue, right? When we capture with the knight, white captures back, and now you see two pieces are under attack, the knight and the bishop. So it's
But
forced.
bishop
It's
can ca-
forced. Bishop capture d5 is forced. Now simply bishop capture d5, rook capture d5, and queen e4 check wins. But if black captures with the bishop, then only one piece is attacked, and it's not forced to capture. Black plays knight e7.
then the white can give a check, e4 check.
Yes, queen e4 check, queen e4 check, yes, king h8, and c4. And white creates some interesting complications. White is the
No,
one who is making progress here
into h8. Then why can't the knight go to g6 check?
because the knight sees you're not getting anything there. The c4, the d5 pawn will be quite weak there. Okay, so that's why king h7 was wrong at the first place. Then what is the right? I told you earlier that black sees this loose knight on c4 and behind it the pawn on a2. So what should black play? That's the hint.
Mm, queen f7.
Very good, very good. That's the right move. Queen f7, attacking the knight on c4 as well as defending g6. And if the knight moves, black captures on a2. So white now has uh, nothing much on his disposal because how will he save it? How will he save his knight? If he moves it, the a2 pawn is lost. So black gets what he wants. That's what I mean by initiative.
So, so then the pawn can come to B3.
Yes, b3 can be played, but then you will end up in a really bad pawn structure. We cannot
Um,
capture with the queen. Remember, we cannot because the c4 pawn will hang. Therefore, we need to capture with the f pawn. And who likes this pawn structure?
Five pawns are undefended.
If black plays bishop c5, then it's simply bishop c4, a skewer, and white loses the rook at least. If you play rook capture d7, rook capture d7, then bishop capture c5, still bishop c4 wins. And if you play rook d5, this is an interesting choice because white hopes that black will capture, takes, knight e7, knight takes on e5, bishop takes, f takes on e3, knight d5, knight f5. That's what white thinks. So that he'll at least get his knight on e5 and uh, keep the pressure on the b7 pawn. That's what white hopes. But so b6 shatters all the plans. White's rook is under attack. If he moves it, white's knight is under attack, which obviously cannot be saved. Okay.
The so white is
White is just in trouble here. Okay. Moving on, we have king safety. Now this book which we are reading is not about attack, but uh, obviously king safety is a really important imbalance to consider. Tell me, what do you see here in this position? Whose king is more safer?
what is that sound?
Um, I don't know. I think not at my end at least. So whose king is more safer?
Mm.
Obviously, it's white, right? Because black king is just uncastled. How to destroy? Okay, obviously, when you have your pieces in good position, then only you can uh, attack a king in the center. But I would like to, I would like to add my own experience. This morning, I played a game online, and I used this imbalance. I used two imbalances in order to win the game. My opponent, um, just was just very greedy. He took two of my pawns, and I opened up his king in the center. My king was castled, and I just won. Okay, I'll show that game later. But how how did I win?
Sir, how can we see that our opponent is greedy or not?
No, you cannot actually see that. It just reflects in his own moves. If your opponent doesn't think really much, he will just eat up your pawns or your pieces without even thinking. White plays knight captures h7, f7 here because there are two factors. Okay, first understand why can white attack, then only you can find the attack, right? Black king is in the center, clearly. White king has castled, clearly. These central lines are open for white. Okay, and white's pieces are in a really good position. This bishop on c4 is looking here on f7. This knight is looking here on f7. This queen is just directly looking at the king if it can get there. So these are signs of an attack brewing. Sometimes you might find an attack, sometimes you might not. It's okay, but you need to look at good moves, like it may be a sacrifice, it may be a pawn break, or it may be a normal looking white move. But in such positions we are where you have open line against the king is just not too safe, and your pieces are really well placed, you can get an attack. So that's what white did in this game and found knight captures f7, king captures f7, queen captures e6 check, king g6, bishop d3 check, king h5, and queen h3 mate. Just simply just simply eating the black king. Well, that's why you must castle early. Okay, it's chess. I
Yes.
mean, it's chess. You first learn the rules and then learn how to break them. In some positions, you might not castle. You might just you would just play a game without even castling, but that might be okay. But your king must be safe. Yeah. In that case, you must ensure that your king is safe. So here, black king was not safe because he had open lines against it, and white's pieces were placed well. Last position for the day statics versus dynamics. You can see there are no moves because it's not it's this position does not require moves. It needs
The
you
D
need to
pawn is isolated.
correct. The d pawn is isolated. Now my question to you is, are isolated pawns weak or strong?
Sometimes they can be weak, sometimes they can be strong.
When they can be weak and when they can be strong?
Like if they are in the center, they can be strong, but if they are not in the center, then they can be weak. And if nothing is attacking, no, if nothing is supporting the pawn and many pieces are attacking, then also it can be bad,
uh,
I said.
okay, you are not fully right. um, it's okay, no problem. We are looking at such a position. From my experience, I will tell you that isolated pawns are both a weakness and a strength. It depends on the position itself. Here in this position, if we check with the engine, it's equal. But why is it equal? See, there is an isolated d pawn. Okay, that's correct. And for black, it is a weakness. For white, it is not big of a weakness. Now, if you play the Queen's Gambit, you'll see IQP pawn structures a lot. IQP pawn structure means isolated queen pawn. Okay, I myself play the Queen's Gambit, so I know it.
Sir, I also play Queen's
Oh,
Gambit.
nice, nice. Then you might recognize this position. I think it occurred from the Queen's Gambit only. Not sure, but
Yes.
it might be because the c pawn seems to be exchanged, and
One
there's
time this position came.
it could be the or maybe some other opening. I don't know because black has the c pawn exchange too. Maybe it was like d4 c4 black went c5 at some point and then captured and white captured with the e pawn. It could be that as well. Okay, coming back to the point, the d pawn is isolated, but this position is equal. My question is why? Because we are taught isolated pawns are not good. They create pawn islands. They are weak. Not really.
But, but creating a pawn island is good.
No, creating a weak pawn island is bad. No, the isolated pawn makes your pieces passive because it has no
Oh.
pawn defending itself, right? It has no pawn defending it. So the pieces has to do the job, and defending pieces become passive. So it is a liability, right? Well, not fully, because uh, okay, just remember one point that the square in front of an isolated pawn is a really, really important square. Okay, for now, that square is in control of black, right? Right or not? I mean, it seems to be in black's control, yeah? Not really, because white can take the knight, pawn takes, and black will have an isolated pawn too. White's weakness will vanish, and black's bishop will open. So, black doesn't really have a full control here. And yes, black sees this pawn as a weakness, but it controls the crucial squares e5 and c5. So it lets white gain the central space. Okay, now a really basic concept, just a basic question. Whoever in chess has a central space, what does he or she does? I mean, what does he or she do?
Hmm, tries to develop his pieces more to the center.
Correct. By developing towards the center, what you will get? An active position, right? And how will you use that active position? Yes, you are getting there. You will use that active position to launch an attack on your opponent's king. Easy, right?
Yes.
So here white has central space and black has and black sees this pawn as isolated, right?
Yes.
Now, what are statics versus dynamics? Do you know this already, or should I go deeper?
I didn't know this.
Okay, nice. Then we'll go deeper. First of all, we need to understand what are static positions and what are dynamic positions in chess. As the name suggests, static positions are the position which are stuck in itself. They might be closed or they might be basically there is not much happening in those positions. They might be closed positions or they might be simple semi-open positions sometimes as well. What I consider in static position is that No side is attacking each other's king. Like, for example, imagine a position which is closed. In that position, neither white is attacking black nor black is attacking white. That position can be a static position, while a dynamic position is what is as the name suggests, dynamic positions are the position in which things are changing very rapidly. These positions can be open, and at many times they are open only. Okay, you won't see a closed position which is dynamic in nature. That this doesn't happen much. Dynamic positions are the ones in which either black is attacking black. Either black is attacking white, or white is attacking black, or both sides are attacking each other. Okay, so obviously, uh, when we understand the nature of these positions, we see that static positions are slow and dynamic positions are fast. Hence, static weaknesses are long-term weaknesses and dynamic weaknesses are short-term weaknesses. By short-term weaknesses, I mean that the weakness exists in your position, but it will vanish very, very soon with right play. And static weaknesses are the ones that stay in your position and you need to, yeah, just defend them. It's not like static are bad, dynamic weaknesses are good. It's not like that. It depends on the the play from both the players. If you know that you have a static weakness or a dynamic weakness, then you can align your plans according to that. Now black enjoys a static weakness here. Right, black enjoys a static weakness. So why am I calling it as a static weakness? Because isolated pawn won't go by its own. Black needs to make a mistake by taking on c3 and giving white a good center. Black needs to make this mistake. Okay, but by itself, the d pawn won't become a good pawn, right? While white controls the center, it is a dynamic weakness, because if black plays well and white plays like an amateur, then then black will also control the center, and the central space will go away. So white needs to act fast so that black does not control the center, and just black does not liquidate into an endgame where this isolated pawn will be a complete weakness. Black will attack it and white will have to defend it. And we all know in endgames we don't want to defend. We don't want to play passively. This position, if you look at the engine, it is equal, but it depends on which side plays correctly. Okay, white needs to play fast while black needs to play slowly. By slowly, I mean improving moves like bishop f6. He might even consider h6 at some point just to, create some space for his king. He can play a move like a6 b5, gaining some space, bishop b7, rook c8, then just improving his position bit by bit. While white will need to white will need to act fast. White will need to create an attack on the black king, because yes, he is controlling the center. He should uh, try to attack. How will he attack? He can consider queen g3 as the move. He can consider queen d3 as a move. He can even consider knight captures on d5 as a move, because it might remove his weakness if black captures battle with the pawn. But it is a bad move because it opens up the black bishop. So yes, white needs to be careful. White needs to be careful. White can also plan knight g5 in future, obviously in order to attack the black king. Okay, so we are done with today's content, and I am now looking for any questions.
Sir,
Yes,
Silvan writes everything in his books.
yes, he has written everything. The content I am teaching is taken from his book only. How to reassess your chess.
Mm.
Silman has a book written on, I guess, every topic of the game. I mean, he has written a book on positional chess, which we are studying right now. He has written a book on endgames as well. It is very famous. Silman's Endgame Manual, I guess it is called. No, Silman's Endgame Course. Okay.
Sir, imbalances are different kinds.
Yes, imbalances are of different kinds, but you don't need to memorize it. Okay, you don't need to classify that. Okay, this imbalances is of a different kind. This is of a different. You don't think like that. Yes, they might have a different name, and obviously the writer might segregate them in different chapters to make it easy for the reader. But once you go deeper, once you read the book fully, you'll know that you will know that you need to think, you need to consider all imbalances in one position. Okay, right. Sometimes it is that black king is more weaker, white king is more weaker. It depends. Sometimes it's like, okay, both kings are safe, but some other imbalances come into play, right? So you need to evaluate based on the imbalances. You don't think like, okay, this imbalances is different, this is different. You don't get positions like that.
Okay.
Okay, so you went to a tournament. Yeah, you told. Well, how it went?
It went okay, okay.
I mean, what do you mean by okay, okay? I mean, how much was the score? Let's just come to the
And
point. Okay.
I won two matches. And so actually one was a walkover, so that's why I did not count that walkover. I won two matches and I lost three. Like I lost two because one was a walkover.
Okay, and if I speak the truth, that is not a really good score, honestly. But okay, it happens. It happens to the best as well. No problem. You can improve because you are attending the sessions uh, on a regular basis. So you will definitely improve. Don't worry. Well, my advice to improve your game would be just to solve a lot of tactics and to not care about anything else because I am covering it.
Some games and some I do some puzzles and chess.com and chess both.
Yes, puzzles anywhere is good. I mean, I don't see why people say, okay, books are better or online puzzles are better. It depends. It completely depends on the player. For me, honestly, books work the best. But for some players, I see that they solve puzzles on leeches and then play really, really well. So,
There are so many puzzle books of Maiden 2, Maiden 1, Maiden 3, and Maiden 4.
okay, so I think that might be in the beginner phase, right?
Yeah. because the school chess sir asks for the books and he says to do that first and then he gives us other books.
When you are a beginner, yes, it is important to rely on books more because on online platforms like leeches or chess.com, you get puzzles which are completely out of your level, okay, as a beginner, okay. But when you cross that phase, it really depends on you.
Yeah,
What?
my puzzle rating is 1349.
Okay, but I think that's a bit low considerably, but that can improve. I mean, because you are not that. I think you must have a rating of it at least, I guess, 14 or 1500 FIDE.
Sir, not yet because um so there was one FIDE tournament but it got cancelled, so that's why.
Okay. Uh, if you won't mind telling me, what's your online rating?
On chess.com or chess.
Any platform, it doesn't matter.
In chess.com my rating is um 140.
What? 140.
Yes.
But these sessions are not for complete beginners, you know, right?
Yes.
Is
First
it, is
my
it
rating went very down, like first it went to 700 or something. Then I played a lot of games and I won many, so then it went to 140.
Wait, acha, you mean 1040, right?
Yes.
That's not 140. That's
Yeah,
1040.
1000.
Okay. I mean, if you are 140, then you must not attend these sessions. But you are you are at a good level to understand the book. So don't worry. You just practice well, and if possible, uh, the things that I tell in these sessions, if you find it important, just make a note somewhere. That would really help.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
one position came in one game when it was a forced checkmate.
So the question is that did you find it or not?
I did find that my opponent could do a forced checkmate, but so when he moved that, then one checkmate. So there were like two different kinds of mate in one move. So I saved one mate and then my opponent did another mate, the other type.
Okay, that's really bad, but I mean, okay, that happens. That's why I said solve tactics, and you'll spot most of the plans, most of your opponent's plans as well. So yeah.
And one game I lost by time
Oh, okay, that's
because the
sad. That's
time was like 10 plus 0.
okay. Uh, I mean, it doesn't really matter much because I believe 10 plus 0 is already good enough time, but okay, that happens. Okay, we have 5 more minutes, so I'll just quickly show my morning's game so that you know not to just show off or something, but to uh, to demonstrate that how I used the imbalances that I learned in the book. Okay, and let me just create a window capture real quick for the chess, right? Yeah.
On chess.com, I mostly play with my school chess coach.
Okay. Okay. So your rating must go down then because he is obviously better than you. Yeah.
Yes, but one time I won 2 games with him.
Yeah, that happens. That happens. No problem. That happens.
Sometimes he makes me win and sometimes he plays
Okay, I
normal.
hope you can see the screen.
No, it's like participants without video are currently hidden.
No, my screen. I have. Okay, yeah, I have stopped sharing it. So no problem. I share it now, and I hope
No,
OBS is recording leeches only. Yeah.
I cannot see the screen.
Now you can see, I believe.
No. It's saying participants without video are currently hidden and it's saying show all participants.
Uh, where are on my end? Yes, it does show the screen to me that yes, I have shared it and it shows a preview. I believe participants will. There might be a network issue, I believe.
Sir, yeah, now it's visible.
Okay, nice. So let's quickly in, jump right in, and
कारखाने तो कौन
this is the game that I played this morning. I mistakenly clicked. Okay. So yeah, I was white and I opened up the game with d4, Queen's Gambit, as I said, e6. I went knight c3, bishop b4. My opponent played the Nimzo, and I played Queen c2, my favorite line. B6 was played. Now I don't know why is he playing b6 instead of d5 or c5, the main moves, but okay. E4, bishop b7, bishop d3, just defending the e4 pawn. Takes, d6. I considered f4 as well, but I went knight f3, c5, castle. And now see, I have castled my king. My opponent hasn't. He should castle, but he went h6. And I immediately went to open up the center with e5. He captured the pawn, foolishly opening up the center. I captured with the knight because I need to keep the lines open. I don't want to close. I don't want to close the line with just capturing it, and then I have no access to the king. But now uh, maybe this sacrifice can be possible in some case. He went knight c6. Still he didn't castle. He should have, but I went rook e1, and he should have castled again, but he got greedy, captured my pawn, and now I saw an opportunity, a clear opportunity. Takes, bishop takes, and I'm not going to capture the pawn. I'm going to break his castle completely. Bishop a3, and now he cannot castle. He should have castled earlier. He had a chance, but he missed it. And now I am the one who will who will win this game. Yeah. Again he got greedy. He thought, okay, yeah, two pawns. They captured c3. But now what I thought here was very interesting. Uh, I thought, what if I go rook capture e6? Let's say captures. I go bishop g6 check and then king d7. I can go rook d1 check. King runs and I can get the queen, but I gave two rooks already. I gave two rooks. I gave one rook here and one rook here for a queen. So no, I don't really want this. When you sacrifice a rook, you obviously want something better. I thought, okay, rook capture e6, bishop g6, king d7, rook d1, and the king runs. Okay, I get the queen, but I have already sacrificed two rooks for that. So what's the point? What's the actual point? There must be something better. The king runs, and I needed to attack the king because it was in the center. So what am I doing? That's why I rejected it. But then I thought, okay, what if my rook was on d1? Yeah, what if my rook was on d1? I can play rook capture, f capture, bishop g6, and this is a mate because my rook on d1 covers the square. So okay, that's an interesting tactic. And I came up with rook a d1, putting my rook on d1, threatening rook capture e6. He definitely missed because he doesn't know how to play chess. And yeah, I utilized the fact that his king is in the center. I cut him off from castling and then just opened up the lines and found an amazing tactic. Yes, you might not find tactics every time, but that's how you attack. You might not find tactics every time, but you need to place your pieces in good position and open up the lines. That's what I wanted to show. That's exactly what Silman mentions in his book, that you must punish your opponent. You must punish your opponent's greed. After f captured c6, that was not happened in the game obviously because bishop captured g6. Sorry, bishop g6 is just a mate. He has to give up his queen, and I'm completely winning. So this didn't happen. He saw it. He went king d8. I went bishop f5. It's a check, obviously. If he goes king c8, it's just over. I win the queen. But he saw it again and went bishop d7. And now I found another interesting move, which is rook capture f6, gf6, queen e4. How will he save the rook? He cannot move the queen because his bishop is under attack already. So if he goes queen c8, it's just over. I capture the bishop anyway because when the queen takes, his rook will be gone. So he went rook b8 to save it. But now it's already over. It's too late. Queen e7 check, king c8, and now I captured the bishop. If he moves the queen, I get rook c7. Let's say queen c6, rook c7 check, and the king is mated because it's a double check. So yeah, it's gone. He saw this and when king b7, he thought, okay, I don't want to get mated, but he eventually got mated. Yeah, just rook capture a7. Game's over. So that's how I utilized the imbalances mentioned in the book. See, I am learning with you people only. I am reading this book for a tournament. I am preparing for a tournament by reading this book, and yeah, I hope you liked the game, and that's all for today.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.